you ever have a feeling about something you couldn't prove, but the feeling about it felt so true to you that you just knew you were right? It seemed like your intuition was at work, right? Well, maybe. But depending on the circumstance, it could be that what you assumed was intuition that caused this knowing feeling wasn't intuition at all. Maybe your feeling came from somewhere else. Well, if your feeling didn't come from your intuition, where did it come from? And how can I know whether a feeling comes from my intuition or not? Stick around and find out. Hi, I'm Hope. I'm the author of the book, The Creative Toolbox, a practical guide to discovering and using your creativity. And I love helping people explore intuition, creativity, and self-awareness for a freer, more conscious life. To help more people access this information, please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Sometimes we get a gut feeling that seems so true that we assume our intuition is steering the reaction, and it may be the case. But sometimes the feeling we get may come from another source, such as anxiety. It's important to differentiate whether the messages you receive are coming from your intuition or from a state of anxiety when you are deciding if you should act. Intuition and anxiety come from different places. The voice of your intuition is quiet, calm, and steady. You may have a feeling of simply knowing or a gut feeling about something. This knowing or feeling doesn't make you feel emotional or panicked. The voice of your intuition doesn't argue with you or spiral into other thoughts. It states what it states simply. Intuitive messages tend to be consistent over time. In contrast, anxiety feels loud, urgent, and repetitive. Its messages are based in fear. The thoughts begin with, what if? You may feel anxiety in your physical body, such as a tightness in your chest, a racing heartbeat, or a feeling of restlessness. You are driven to overthink or seek out feedback from other people. The more you focus on anxious thoughts, the more anxiety you produce. There's a simple way to differentiate intuition from anxiety. Intuition feels like clarity. Anxiety feels like noise. For example, your intuition may tell you, something about this situation isn't right. It feels calm and direct. Anxiety tells you, what if this goes wrong? What if I mess up? What if they hate me? You feel like you're spiraling with your emotions and you feel tense. One other difference between intuition and anxiety is that if you could sit quietly for a while, your intuition remains steady or may even become clearer, but anxiety will likely grow, multiply, or find other topics to worry about. You can also recognize your intuition at work when there is a quiet immediacy about the feeling you have. Let's talk about the quiet part of it. Unlike analytical thinking, which can be verbal, layered, and repetitive, intuition is more like a whisper. You may get an immediate feeling of yes or no. You may get a sudden image, a pull, a feeling of hesitation, or a feeling of certainty. Intuition is a quiet signal, while mental activity like fear, rumination, wishful thinking, social pressure, or overanalysis is louder. As for the immediacy of intuition, your brain is constantly processing far more information than you consciously notice, such as facial expressions, changes in tone, environmental clues, memories, and physical sensations. These patterns are very familiar because, well, they're patterns. You've experienced them over and over again. Your intuition quickly and automatically integrates all these patterns to form a conclusion before the conscious mind catches up. Some examples of these quick conclusions you make include instantly distrusting a situation without knowing why, or immediately knowing someone's emotions before they say a word, or visualizing what is about to happen before it does. This rapid knowing comes from integration of past experiences that becomes unconscious recognition. This doesn't mean that every immediate sense is intuition. Feelings stemming from anxiety, trauma, bias, impulse, and projection can also occur quickly. But intuition is typically clear and simple, even if it is an uncomfortable realization. Fear responses are generally more complex, as multiple scenarios are often involved. They come with a sense of urgency, and they are anything but quiet. I mentioned earlier that physical sensation is one of the perceptions that is felt before the conscious mind can process a situation. This suggests that intuition is frequently felt physically before a conscious thought emerges. Your body is always interpreting reality through the nervous system, which keeps tracking the smallest of facial expressions, posture, speech rhythm, environmental tension, what is familiar versus unfamiliar, subtle threats, social belonging, and internal bodily states, most of which never become conscious thought. The body is the first to react through muscle tightening, breathing shifts, stomach drops, chest openings, shoulder relaxation, goosebumps, or rising or withdrawing of energy. Only after the conscious mind observes these signals will it find the words to explain them. This is why intuitive moments are often described physically, like something felt off. I had a gut feeling. I felt this lightness. There was a knot in my stomach. These are not just metaphors. The body is central to the intuitive process. This topic of the body's role in the intuitive process leads to the concept of interoception, which is the brain's ability to perceive internal bodily states. These come from signals the brain receives from your heartbeat, breathing, gut activity, hormonal changes, muscle tension, and temperature. These signals affect your emotions, judgment, and decision-making. There's research that suggests that people with stronger interoceptive awareness may pick up on subtle emotional or environmental cues more easily than others because they are faster and more accurate at noticing changes within the body. So the process of intuition may include unconscious perception, bodily response, and conscious awareness, the latter of which occurs later in the process. When we refer to our intuition, we may describe it as a gut feeling. There's a literal component to this. The digestive system has a strong connection to the nervous system through pathways such as the vagus nerve. The gut has an extensive neural network that is sometimes referred to as the second brain. The similarities that the gut has with the brain is within the gut. There is a strong link between the emotion and state of the gut. Stress and safety are registered physically in the gut, and intuition is often experienced as a visceral sensation. You may believe that intuition feels more trustworthy than your conscious thoughts. Here's why that may be. While analytical thought dissects and breaks things into pieces, when you perceive with your body, you can process the whole situation. Your conscious mind may perceive that everything is fine, but your body picks up behaviors like a forced smile, a delayed response, a pattern of tension, or a feeling of unease in the environment. The body can pick up when things are off before the conscious mind identifies a narrative to explain the situation. This is not to say that bodily response is always correct. Like the mind, the body carries conditioning, trauma, bias, chronic stress, and learned fear. So not every reaction that the body has comes from a place of deep wisdom or knowing. Something that the body perceives could be disguised as intuition, but it could really be a past trauma response. Hypervigilance may be misinterpreted as insight. Fearful avoidance from a past issue may be mistaken for an intuition that something is not meant for you. What feels like a prophetic message that danger is around the corner could be your anxiety kicking in. Well, why is this? Because intuition and trauma response arise from different nervous system processes. Intuition can be described as rapid, integrated perception, while trauma response is considered a rapid survival activation based on past danger. Body reaction happens first in both intuition and trauma response, so they can feel similar. Trauma responses form after experiencing overwhelming stress or danger, so the nervous system learns to actively prevent future harm by interpreting situations as dangerous that may not be. This may manifest as sudden distrust, the urge to flee, emotional shutdown, panic around closeness, certainty that rejection is coming, or a sense that someone is dangerous. The person experiencing a trauma response may interpret their response as their intuition warning them. It's not that their body is wrong. The danger feels real. It's that past and present can become one, and it's hard to separate them. This is when it's important to discern whether you are grounded in your perception or your survival mode is activated. Is this feeling quiet, centered, and simple, or urgent, repetitive, and tight? When many people consider where intuition comes from, there's a tendency to see it as a mystical process. This may be because intuitive responses can appear seemingly out of nowhere. It happens before the logical mind can explain it. It can be an emotionally powerful experience, and it often can only be felt with little to no explanation. This can lead to a belief that the intuitive experience was prophetic, contained a divine message, led to supernatural knowledge, or is absolute truth. It can seem particularly true when the intuition was later shown to be true. Coincidences happened, or it was an emotional experience. It is the conscious mind that deems the intuitive experience as mystical, sometime after the intuitive response occurred. This is significant to note because of the importance of discerning the signal, which is the actual intuitive response in the moment, from the interpretation, which in this case was that something mystical occurred. Discernment respects the perception without overinflating the conclusion. After all, intuition is sometimes wrong, but how could something mystical be wrong? Getting too caught up in magical thinking can make one ungrounded, in which one might start seeing signs everywhere, treating coincidences as destiny, mistaking emotional certainty for factual certainty, and over-trusting subjective impressions. This is very different from the quiet, centered, and simple feeling of intuition. Think of intuition as valuable but fallible, embodied perception, and mysticism as unquestionable supernatural certainty. Did this video give you any new perspective on what intuition is? What was new for you? Comment down below. Well, that's it for now. Please like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to my channel to know when the next video drops. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tools for exploring your intuition, creativity, and self-awareness for a freer, more conscious life. See you soon.